Hello everyone, this is Optimus Prime, and this is a very exciting review because these two are some of the first Transformers Rise of the Beasts toys that we have so far. Um, but these are the Energon, Escape, Optimus Prime, and Bumblebee 2-pack, and I'm really excited that I found this yesterday. So anyways, let us get right into the review. And to start off, I would like to take a look at one of my favorite figures from the set, Bumblebee, and this is him in his 1977 classic Camaro, and I really do like this alt mode. Some minor complaints, I guess. There's not really any black paint for the back windshield, but that's fine. Everything else about this is honestly very nice. Although there also isn't really paint for the headlights. Again, this is also a kid's toy, so I'm not going to do too much complaining about this, but the overall Camaro looks really good in my opinion. So I really do just like how this turned out. Back of the Camaro, they still even managed to get in some of that kind of back detail, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's not bad. This is actually pretty cool. It does roll as rolling things should. That's a reference to Emgo if you don't know. Subscribe to him. He's a really good Transformers reviewer. Anyways, but yeah, so really nice Camaro mode. You do get the black paint for the windshield, the sides of the doors, and I really do like this matte black finish for these stripes on the ends, which is very nice. We do get some nice panel lining details. And I'm not talking about the areas where this does transform. I'm just talking about like the accurate panel lines. And then we do get an Autobot symbol. This silver paint is also pretty nice as well. But yeah, so that's pretty much about it for like this mode. Now this is the gimmick that we do get. So we get this little thing right here, and one cool thing about this is that you do, like, this is kind of the thing that it does, and you can also kind of just see the gears move on the inside, which is pretty cool. But I do like this kind of clear plastic that we get for it. But basically what this does is you just take it, you smash it down, and then pretty much just kind of peg that in. These back parts will also untab, just make sure to tab those back in, and press, you kind of pull this back, press this down, and he goes. So really neat feature with this. I also would like to mention some of this inside detail. We do get like these little blaster looking sections that are molded in and painted with this blue coloration, which does look very nice, and there is some really nice inside detail as well. So Camaro mode is pretty decent, if I do say so myself. Now getting down to the transformation, there we go. Basically all we got to do is just take these sections, keep those flipped up, take these back sections, flip them back, make sure that they don't run into those yellow sections right there on the back, and then take these sections right here, untab them from these parts right here, bring them down, and then just kind of lock those into place like so. Take these sections, just untab them from the sides like that and like that. That will form the arms. And finally, take this section, bring it down, and tab it in. And there we have Bumblebee in his robot mode. Now, I don't really expect much from this considering that it is a kid's toy, but there is quite a lot of just plainness in the robot mode, but it's not bad. I do really enjoy the silver paint apps that we do get on the arms, on the legs. Basically, we get that same silver paint in the chest, and as well as right in here, and there is still more silver paint just going along in some like really nice inside detail that it does get covered up by, but it's nice to know that that's there. But overall, robot mode looks really nice. The eyes are nicely applied, the silver paint on the face is nicely applied, and this is more so reminiscent of the Bayverse Bumblebee instead of the movie Bumblebee. And I can kind of see, I just see more of the elements from the Bayverse Bumblebee instead of the Nightverse Bumblebee. But it is not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Now, one thing I would like to mention, there is storage for these parts right here. And it is interesting. Basically, all you got to do is just come here to the back and just pop that on the back like so, and that is pretty much your storage for these things. And that, yeah, it doesn't really work, honestly. It just kind of makes him flop back down, and yeah. So it's a thing you can do, but it won't really work, and it's just going to look weird as hell. But you know, it's a thing you can do. But yeah, so that is pretty much Bumblebee, and he is a nice little bot. And now moving on to the big bot himself, even though he's relatively small on this scale, Optimus Prime. And this is pretty much just like reminiscent of his brand new look in Transformers Rise of the Beasts, and it does look pretty good in my opinion. Now, it is not 100% accurate. Pretty much this area right here is not like too accurate, but the grill section and like this kind of caging detail, that's pretty much correct. The stripe, we don't get that stripe that goes kind of like upwards like that. There's no paint for the smokestacks or anything like that. It's just kind of the silver that we do get here and on the gas tanks and like these little thigh areas, but that's pretty much about it. But overall, you know, this is pretty much the new Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, and we did get this figure before, but we got it when Bumblebee came out, so this is a reissue, kind of, not 100%. This new front of the cab this is all new. And the paint as well, like some of the coloration on the last version of this figure was different, but pretty much the robot mode is all the same. The only difference is just being the paint and the front of the cab. So that's pretty much about it when it comes to the differences between those two. Now, I don't have that figure to compare it to, but I am glad that I guess we have a second chance to pick that figure up if you want to. But overall, I do kind of just like the way that this truck mode looks, and that this is pretty much the only Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime like truck that we have that is pretty much based off of the truck we've been seeing on set images and videos. So that is pretty cool, because the other Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime toys that we have are more so reminiscent of the Beast Hunters Optimus Prime from Transformers Prime, and not really reminiscent of this kind of style truck. So this is kind of the only version of this truck from what we've seen on set that is more so accurate, I guess, to what we have only seen so far. But it does look very nice. And one thing I do want to mention is I do kind of like that metallic blue for the windshield and the side doors, but that is pretty nice. And then, you know, Prime here does have that same feature. Just take this right here and just smash it down inside, and what that will do is it'll bring up these gas tank sections. One thing I do want to mention, so I'm a sucker for detail, and one thing that I really like is that these side cannon pieces, like the side tanks, are actually the gun that he used in Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction, which is actually really neat. Like, that's pretty much the inside detail of that rifle that he had. So that is something that I do think is actually pretty cool. But anyways, you know, you do get the same gimmick on this figure. Just push this section down and he will go. And yeah, so you know, I really do like this gimmick. Now, it is rolling a bit slower because I am using I'm using cloth right here, but it does go a little bit faster on harder surfaces. But overall, you know, it's a fun gimmick. I've had a blast playing with these figures. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for Optimus Prime's truck mode. Just pop that out, and let us get down to the transformation. Now, what we'll want to do is come here to the bottom, take these sections, fold these out. Be careful. I just recommend being careful because for some reason on mine, one of these is loose, and I'm pretty sure it's this one. Or, well, technically it's both, but it's mostly just that one right there. So just be careful in folding those out because they will have a tendency to be a little bit loose and to pop off constantly. So just keep that in mind. Next, what we will want to do is take the arms, fold them out like so, and then untab like that. Bring it around like so, and then rotate the arm around like that. And then there is a section right in here that will tab in to the smokestack section right here. Just listen to that click, and there you go. Do the same thing on this side. Fold out the arm, bring that around, fold that around and tab that in like so. And then next, just take the legs, bring them down like that. That is loose. And then finally, what we want to do is just take this section, bring it down, flip out the head like so, and fold that back up like that. And there we have Optimus Prime in his robot mode. Now, overall, not a bad looking figure in my opinion. I will say this is also another instance where this is more Bayverse accurate than Nightverse accurate. Because this is actually just the evasion mode Optimus Prime, and you can kind of see those elements with this, but mainly just in the legs. Like, these are just the Bayverse legs, and then but the chest right here is the thing that kind of calls that out the most, because this is the evasion mode Optimus Prime chest, where we do have that Bayverse look from the first 3, technically 4 movies. Like with the window chest and then the grill section that comes up when he transformed into a flat-nosed truck. So this is just the evasion mode Prime body, but the head, however, is different. Now this head is not Bayverse or Nightverse as far as I'm noticing, because it looks a little more G1 accurate. Because Optimus Prime in both movies never had this head crest. I mean, he kind of did. Like, for example, like here's just a Nightverse Optimus Prime figure. Like, that's like the head that he had. So he had something similar. Yeah. So this is just a different head, but we do get those robo lips and a nicely painted head. They even painted the eyes, which is really nice. But yeah. So well, when it comes to paint, just in general, I mean, like the silver. That's pretty much all we get. The rest is just kind of molded there. But overall, this is not a bad looking figure. Now, for comparison between the two, here we have Prime and here we have Bumblebee. And Bumblebee is taller. I mean, if we're being technical here, they're the same height because of the smokestacks and because of the shoulders. But now Bumblebee is a little bit shorter than Prime here. He does stand a little bit taller head-wise. But Bumblebee is just a bigger figure, which I think is kind of funny. But yeah, so it's just one of those things. Now, one thing I do want to bring up before I forget, articulation. When it comes to articulation, all we really have is just bend at the elbow for Bumblebee on both arms, and the legs can just kind of rotate out and in, and that's pretty much it for articulation for Bumblebee. And for Prime, it is quite literally just the same thing, just shoulder, elbow articulation on both sides, and the legs can kind of come out. But at the same time, the arms also kind of block it, so if you flip them up, then you have more clearance for the legs to kind of split. But that's pretty much about it. You don't really get any other articulation besides that. And it's not a huge deal. I kind of just enjoy these for the gimmicks. The robot modes are nice. I do like the fact that they can at least transform, but I really just enjoy the gimmicks. Now, Optimus Prime does have a similar case where you can store the thing, and there's a little port right there. Just pop that in like that, and there you go. And this one actually wants to stand. That's crazy. But yeah, so that's storage, I guess, but it's a thing you can do. But anyways, guys, that is pretty much my review on the Transformers Rise of the Beasts, Energon, Escape, Optimus Prime, and Bumblebee. These are relatively cool figures. If you want to kind of hop on the Rise of the Beasts hype train, like most of us Transformers fans who are hungry as hell for more content, then these are decent to pick up, and I would highly recommend them. They are about $25, which may be a bit high for some people, especially considering what these are, but in my opinion, it's not too bad. But I'd recommend picking them up if you want to. But anyways, guys, that is about it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.